In social situations, do you find yourself naturally gravitating towards the crowd or quietly staying in a corner? If you chose the latter, you're most likely an introvert, and if you identify more with the former, then congratulations, you're probably an extrovert. This is because society mostly sees extroversion as the ideal, outgoing, social, and built for leadership. Meanwhile, introverts are viewed as meek, awkward, and unsuited for power. However, SUSAN CAIN, a Princeton and Harvard Law graduate, former Wall Street attorney, and self-confessed introvert, would beg to differ. In this New York Times best-selling book, we uncover how extroverts and introverts can learn from each other to unearth each other's potential. Here are the top 7 lessons from the book Quiet by SUSAN CAIN. Lesson 1. Don't equate extrovertness to success. Nowadays, we think that the more extroverted a person is, the more likely they are to become successful. We've come to a point where an outgoing, gregarious, and attention-grabbing personality is more valued than a reserved and calm one. This came to be due to the rise of a culture of personality popularized by Americans. This new culture puts emphasis on charisma and likability over a serious and disciplined personality. By the 1920s, self-help books on how to become likable, dominant, charismatic, and magnetic started selling like hotcakes. During this time, parents were even warned about the dangers of letting their children stay shy and meek. Even educational institutions equated well-rounded candidates to being educationally brilliant and extroverted. However, the extroverted idea would only be true if all successful people were extroverted, which isn't the case. People like Bill Gates, Charles Schwab, and Brenda Barnes are successful introverted individuals. Even the founder of Craigslist, Craig Newmark, admitted that he would rather play chess than talk to other people. Lesson 2. Recognize different leadership styles. Although the Western world has developed its own ideal leadership style, which leans more towards extrovertness, there are different parts of the world where a more introverted leader is preferred. While Westerners largely value a bold and domineering personality, the author recognizes the soft power Asian and Asian Americans have as their ideal personality. A researcher named Robert McRae even noted that Asian cultures value introverted styles of communication and leadership more. In a set of interviews done by Cain, she found that Asian-born and Asian American business professionals are very aware of the cultural differences in leadership styles. Additionally, many agreed that an extroverted or introverted style was neither better nor worse than the other. There are different leadership styles that are just as successful. Soft power values kindness, respect, and a quiet persistence that's rarely seen in its Western counterparts. According to the author, there are a lot of great leaders such as Mother Teresa and Gandhi who changed the world through exercising soft power. Lesson 3. Work alone sometimes. Admittedly, introverts would work alone rather than engage in large groups. On the other hand, extroverts thrive in engagement exercises. Although not a bad thing, large corporations and institutions give much importance to the concept of new groupthink. According to the author, this highlights the vitality of group dynamics in bettering creativity and stirring innovation. However, SUSAN CAIN believes that working alone can increase productivity and help one brainstorm ideas more. In fact, Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, stated that he had his most creative breakthroughs whilst working in solitude. We don't always get better while working with others, and there are some people who work more efficiently when left alone. Since the author also believes that there is a time and place for group dynamics, she suggests that people be given flexibility to choose between private or social work, whichever is most productive for them. Successful corporations such as Pixar and Microsoft have adopted these type of work environment. Lesson 4. Nurture our nature. We all thrive in different environments. There are some who see a loud and ear-shattering concert as heaven. On the other side of the spectrum, some would find peace in staying at home and reading a book or watching a movie. Although drastically different, some people would find a concert torture. Meanwhile, others would go crazy if they had to stay at home and spend a quiet afternoon inside. This is partly because of our brains. In a research mentioned in the book, it was found that some infants would be highly reactive to different noises and situations, while others remained calm and cool throughout the experiments. The researcher further found that the highly reactive infants had sensitive amygdalas. It was then predicted that the infants with more sensitive amygdalas would grow more introverted. This is why some people work better in quiet environments. This then brings us the orchid hypothesis, which states that introverted children will be more successful in the right environment, but will shut down in stressful situations. Once put in a nurturing environment where they can thrive, introverted children become self-confident and later on become well-rounded adults. Maybe it's best if we start nurturing ourselves, instead of forcing ourselves to work in environments not conducive for us. Lesson 5. Don't be afraid of introvertness. In the business world, extroverted leaders are mostly preferred. However, there are some instances where it pays off to be an introvert. In an experiment where leaders were tasked to direct teams to fold shirts, It was found that extroverted leaders would complete tasks as efficiently as possible. On the other hand, introverted leaders were more likely to listen to their team members' suggestions. These differing personalities, if put in a workplace setting, would nurture differing work environments. Additionally, companies with extroverted leaders found themselves in more trouble during the 2008 financial crisis than those with introverted leaders. This is because extroverts are risk-takers and quick decision-makers, while introverts tend to be more cautious and risk-aware. In fact, Seth Klarman, the president of the hedge fund of the Baupost Group, took a more careful approach to their investments, and in turn doubled their profits during the Great Recession. You see, it sometimes pays to be an introvert. Lesson 6. Learn to adjust. Since we've already learned that extroverts can learn a thing or two from introverts, we should know that this can go both ways. There are times when introverts would have to adapt to situations and act like extroverts. The book likened this idea to Brian Little's free trait theory, which suggests that we can also adjust our personalities to be more successful in certain identities. For example, we can change our behavior or tweak our personalities when a goal becomes achievable to us. Easier said than done. How does an introverted person act more like an extrovert at times? The book suggests that people can apply a self-monitoring behavior where they can mimic the behavior of other people when they need to. Lesson 7. Understand others. Throughout this discussion, you've most likely determined if you're more of an extrovert or an introvert. One issue extroverts and introverts have is that they find it difficult to relate to the other personality. Since they thrive in different environments and find relaxation in varying avenues, introverts and extroverts usually find each other on opposite sides of the spectrum. However, there's a way for each personality to work with each other, that is to respect each other's strengths and be aware of both of their weaknesses. An introvert's observance and tactfulness paired with an extrovert's boldness and outgoing personality can reach great heights when given the chance. Successful tandems such as Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt have exemplified how communication, adjustments, and tolerance can help extroverts and introverts work together. In conclusion, there are various differences between extroverts and introverts. Since extroverts are more valued in our present society due to their outgoing and boisterous personalities, we tend to put introverts to the side. However, there's much to learn from introverts. Once realized, introverts can be successful leaders. Additionally, it was shown that we introverts and extroverts can thrive together through recognition, communication, and cooperation. Introverts are really cool, right? What personality do you gravitate towards, and how does this affect your day-to-day life? Tell me in the comments section. Thank you for listening. If you like the book summary and you want to see more in this category, please like and subscribe so I can create more. You can also get a free copy of the entire audiobook by clicking the link in the description. Until next time.